Hey guys, and welcome to our newest episode of Guitar Podcaster. Today with the man himself, Steve Lukather, founding member of Toto, award-winning guitarist and famous studio musician. Steve, thank you for taking your time and being here.
Thank you. I appreciate being there.
Yeah, thanks a lot. How do you do
happy
today?
Happy holidays, everybody. Happy holidays.
First things first, as you can see, I also got prepared for a week for holidays.
Yeah. Well, my whole house is like the Macy's, man. I got 4 kids. I got 2 little ones. Well, actually, my daughter's 13 and my youngest son is 10. He's autistic, so Christmas is a little different for him. He likes different things. And my I have 2 sets of kids. My older kids are married and live elsewhere, but
yeah.
That's what that's at.
So you're still completely in the Christmas business?
Oh, yeah. Oh, totally, man. We got the whole tree. My girlfriend, she makes the house. She's a designer, so she made the whole house. Like Macy's, Macy's. It's unbelievable. The detail is insane. The lights flashing, everything's going on. So truly the Christmas spirit is in my home.
And what's your job in this?
Oh, she asked me to do stuff. I'll help her. But my job is to enjoy it and appreciate it.
Yeah, I guess so. So, how do you spend your time in these crazy Corona times where we're still in it? Nobody's allowed or shouldn't go out. We have to take care of ourselves. So, how do you keep yourself sane?
Well, I fortunately before this all happened, I met a girl, and the one of my life, and she's also a chef, and she has her own businesses that she can run from her anywhere she wants to run, as long as you have a computer and a telephone. I do the same. I live up in the Hollywood Hills, as cliche as that is, and I got a gate, so you can't, come get me. And
No.
Yeah, well, I got an office. I got music. I mean, we're doing all this press stuff. I put together a whole band. We did a live stream. We got like a new band that we can afford because we lost the lawsuit. So Joseph and I and David said, "Go, use the name. We paid for it."
Yeah.
I figured, well, it's not Toto 1978, but it's not Toto. It'll never be that anyway.
Yeah.
How could it be? I'm just trying to keep the music alive.
Yeah. The passion.
Yeah, and I still love doing it. Joseph is my best friend, and we both have solo records out. We thought, well, we were going to tour together anyway, so Paige came to us and said, "Go ahead as Toto, play the songs, just put some guys together," because we couldn't afford to have like the really super expensive studio guys, because we have to pay a percentage as part of the lawsuit.
Yeah.
And so it's from the gross, not the net. So that's where all the profit is. So we had to, in order for me and Joe and me, the guy who's been in the band forever, come on, man, Can I have a little bit?
So, do you have the feeling it's more like a DIY record?
What's that?
Do it yourself. So, as you said,
No, it's not a do-it-yourself record. I actually hired and paid all the guys that played on the record. We wrote out charts. It was like doing a session in 1979.
Mm-hmm.
The music was based upon my vibe of 1972-ish, early 70s. You know what I mean? So that's why I chose the cover songs that I chose to set the tone of the era, musically speaking, and wrote music inspired from the era.
Yeah.
And then I went to the studio and I said, "Here's the deal. I want everything to be live. No click tracks. All the solos are live, no fixes. The only thing I overdone was the vocals afterwards, because I'm terrible with remembering lyrics. I wanted a little control of that, but we did a song a day, finished, and then to be mixed. Next song, same thing. Next day, same thing. So 8 days, the whole record was done. Joseph went home and did a couple of background vocals for me. And then we mixed it in 8 days. I came back in a hazmat suit because at that time, we recorded in February before COVID. So we were able to be in the room. Afterwards, we had to do it like, you know, with masks and the whole, you know, hazmat. Oh, the whole thing, you know.
Yeah.
And we did that, and it's done. It was done a long time ago, but they had to figure out the release time. So I'm really excited to have this music get out there because it was great David Page stuff and real pianos, real Hammonds.
Yeah.
So synthesizer record. I produced up a couple of tracks. I mean, but I still did a song a day.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, everything was played live, and you could hear it dynamically and everything. Some of the songs are longer, self-indulgent, but it was fun to do. I said, you know, nobody's waiting for my new record with Snoop Dogg, you know what I mean? God bless you, I love Snoop Dogg, you know.
Yeah, I get it. So you did it also for yourself, as you said. You try to get the vibes, a little bit nostalgia.
Well, everything is so high tech, and put it on the grid, fix it, move it, hit cut, paste, and all this other stuff. You know, Melodyne. Every note has to be pristinely perfect, you know. I just look at me. Do I look like I'm pristinely perfect?
Yes.
You know, I got allergies in my nose.
Yeah.
And I'm just getting older and forgetful. I had hearing aids and glasses. I'm getting old, man.
But you're in a good shape as far as I can see.
No,
you're looking good.
I feel fucking great. I'm just like I said, it sounds like I'm sick, and I get a COVID test like every week. And there's only like five people that we allow into the house, aside from somebody dropping off food and running away. You know what I mean? Yeah. With rubber gloves on, everything. I come in and wash my hands. And
you've got to stay safe. You never know. You never know.
I don't have to wear a mask in my house. I mean, my children don't need to wear a mask because they're here every day. And we've developed a family immunity, if you will. You know.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's hope it's
like Joseph's one of my only friends who have from day one is allowed in the house, allowed to play with my kids and he gets tested because he has a brand new grandson.
Yeah.
What do you think? And I'm friends with Ringo, who's 80, and he's got a 3-week-old grandson. I mean, and we're older, so it's like I can't, and I have an autistic son. I can't run any risks at all about anything.
Yeah, I understand it. Yeah,
it's super been important that way for a fucking year, man. You think I want to sit in my house since March 3rd?
Yeah,
I will if I have to. And God has blessed me for a 45-year career. I save money, and I don't live in a crazy big house with 50 cars and shit like that. I've been divorced twice. Come on.
No.
I live really well. I live really well. You know, in a cool pad up in the hills. I have one car. You know, a wonderful partner to fucking share it with, you know, and my cute little dog, and my kids come and visit me often. You know?
That's the most important thing, and I think that we are in full health, so that's something we have to appreciate. But let's come back to your album. You said everything was 1 or 2 takes. So was it? I think after the second take, maybe there always have been some mistakes or a little bit where you aren't satisfied. Was it the second take when you said, okay, this is for me the good?
We ran like this. We handed out the charts. Some guys, like the cover tunes, the guys had heard before, but otherwise they'd never heard none of the music. So I explained the vibe, and it was written music, you know, like there were charts. I mean, everybody reads and stuff like that. So that makes it easy. And they're all my friends and my favorite players. And me as like a casting director, I got the right players to play the right shit.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, well, will you do a song that I'll point to you? Like the way we used to do. I mean, it's not a set amount of bars. It'll say like, you know, there'll be a note like, you know, Luke Q. You know what I mean? You know, but I go like, I'll point at Paige and I go, give me some Stevie Winwood. And then he would go off and do that. And then, you know, with Babco on a piano, like say on Low Spark, I go like, you know, give me some McCoy Tyner or some, you know, go, you know, take Herbie, you know what I mean? I just say things to him like that. Cool. And then and their dynamics, everybody's listening to everybody else. That's why I had long fades, because you don't have long fades on songs anymore, because you program that. You don't want to hear the same thing over and over and over.
Yeah.
And what was great about all the records in the early days, they'd have these great long fade out, different drum fills, and guys playing licks and stretching out. That was always the cool thing about fades, but you don't do that anymore. I said, fuck that. We're doing it now, today.
Back to the roots.
Right.
So what I think is really impressive of your album is the sound is so super relaxed. So, and the whole atmosphere, that's the way now you're telling me how you did it. That's something that you really transform into your music.
Thank you.
And what I also think is interesting, because your latest album you released in 2013, Transition, the name was Transition, and now I found the sun again.
Well, I fell in love, man. I fell in love with, and she was the catalyst. She was the master wet. And all of a sudden I had creativity again. I've been sitting on my couch dating and met a couple of really great girls, but like I didn't fall in love. You know what I mean? It was like, she's just better than me. She just, I don't know how to say it. I mean, it was like everything just works. It's like she's psychic. I think of something and it appears. And she's it's magical. We just get on. We're just like the best of friends. So it hasn't been hell being locked up with her. It's, if anything, I've been running uphill for screaming for 63 years, and all of a sudden have somebody go, stop! And actually, once I got into the reality of it, had to go, well, we got to live with it like everybody else, so I might as well enjoy it. I'm out gardening. That's on my hands. You know, that, you know, I have black hair dye, but I mean, you know, that fucking hair is real. I mean, what the fuck would want to look like a wig like this? But she's got me gardening and caring about flowers, and I do practice guitar every day, and I do listen to music more better because I'm really listening to the music. I put my head in my office and I close the doors and I just sit there like I was in 1970, you know, listen to my favorite records when I was a little teeny kid.
What do you listen to? So what have been the latest?
All kinds of shit. People send me things, the links to really old shit. Then you know what? I've actually allowed myself for the first time to go like a time machine, go look at myself at 20 years old and stuff like that and laugh and go, my God, look at me at 20 years old. It's like a time machine, literally. And so, plus my new girlfriend of a year plus, she's never seen this shit. So, I mean, I'm turning to go, look at me. You want to see me what I look like when I'm 30? Check this out. and you can find it all on YouTube. So for that, I thank you, YouTube. I don't thank YouTube for not paying anybody, but welcome to the club.
Yeah, it's like a preserving time machine, as you said. It can take it back, and with the music, you've got also the senses, so it puts a lot of motion into you.
Right. You know, I let it unfold, and you know what? I'm living my best life, and I'm having a blast. So what can I say?
And still, there are lots of years to come, so it can get better and better.
I hope so. I've been losing a lot of friends, man. It's not funny. It's terrifying.
Yeah, coming to that, which is, I think, the whole world of musicians was very moving when Eddie Van Halen went from us. I don't want to talk too much about your relationship with Eddie Van Halen because I think he was your friend. It's something very personal, and
well, he's been my brother for over 40 years, so I talk to Alex all the time.
Yeah,
I hurt really bad, man. I mean, that hurt me. It hurt me real bad. I mean, but we're all going to get there. And you know, when he's 65 years old, he changed the world. Nicest man I ever knew. We were crazy when we were young. I mean, we went through the whole world of lives together, man. You know, from being young upstarts to being crazy, insane people to stopping all that. And then, you know, our kids grew up together and on and off. I mean, you know, we did things for each other that people wouldn't do for each other. I mean, we didn't sit around and talk about guitars all the time. I mean, that was like rarely ever.
okay.
Well, we talked about life and kids. He was my real friend. He wasn't like a guy I had a beer with a couple of times. You know what I mean? even though I don't drink now, but we did then. Boy, the memories are crazy. But like, it really makes you look at your own mortality. How long do I got? How many great summers do I have left? What if I die tomorrow? Well, if I did, I have to thank the Lord and say I've had the fucking coolest life that I could have ever wished for times a bazillion.
Amen.
I miss Eddie. I miss Ed. But we'll see each other again, I hope.
How did he influence? Did he influence you? You said you didn't talk so much with him about guitars.
He influenced the world, man. He hit so fucking hard, man. Van Halen influenced the world, man. And it influenced, changed the way everybody looks at the guitar. I can't put that into words. How do you put that into words over 40 plus years? Yeah, he blew the socks off. Everybody's jaw went on the floor, and we had to start over again. That's where it's at. We opened up a whole new vocabulary and a way to think about it. But just like Jimi Hendrix was a great rhythm player, so was Eddie Van Halen. And there are people out there that are hip to it, but he made up the sound of 10 guitar players in one. That's why they sounded so great live, because they didn't need a lot of people, because they had Eddie.
Yeah.
Eddie was an orchestra with a guitar.
Do you remember when you saw him first playing live?
Yeah, California World Music Festival in 1978, where we were both playing. And I had heard him, and his jaw dropped when David Paich brought the album and dropped it on Eruption. Here I was, this young kid, teenager, thinking, I'm not pretty good, man. Eddie Van Halen was like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? How does he do that? Blah, 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 And then I saw it, and we met that day in 78, and he called me up on the phone and said, like, come on over and hang out. And I said, I'm on my way. And then, I ended up staying for a day. And we bonded. We were brothers ever since, man. I mean, we talk, text. I mean, before all that shit, we'd see each other. We had a lot of the same interests. We played golf together, which is crazy. We even joined a golf club together. And, we did crazy. His ex lives right around the corner. So when Wolf was growing up, he would drop him off and do whatever, and then come by my house and hang out. Before I had all the gates and stuff to keep the bad people out,
Yeah.
I lived a little small hillside place up in the tributaries of Hollywood Hills. But these days, I wanted protection, so one of the things I did was build a little fortress around my house and expand all the shit on the inside.
Yeah.
Because I love where I live.
So how much did you influence your way of playing? You also got a very unique sound, but did he change the way you look at it?
I mean, just like everybody else got this right hand on the finger to try to find a new way to do it.
Yeah.
I did it for a while, but I don't know. I wasn't very good at it. I could throw a few shapes or whatever. I could throw a few riffs, but I look back on it now. I see some DVDs from the past and go, "Oh, why did I do that? Oh no, I should have done that."
Okay,
yeah, that's Eddie's, man. What did I do that for? But we were all trying to keep up with that time, and a lot of people did it. And a lot of people made it their own too. There were a lot of guys that used tapping in a really unique way. But when I did it, it looked like I was trying too hard. Sounded like it to me. I do what I do, and that's why on my new stuff, I would never consider. I used some legato stuff, but because of my tour bus accidents, I lost something in both arms. So I had to change the way I think and the way I play more economically.
Adapt and overcome.
Yeah. I'm old. I'm not in the race anymore. Come on, there's a 7-year-old kid in Japan that plays lightning fast that I'll never understand how or why. But she wouldn't be able to do what I did with it. Here's a chart that says B minor A G, count it off without ever hearing anything, and they're recording.
Yeah.
You have to have an arranger's ear and a way to deal with the pressure and working with other people. Figure it out really fast. And I had that knack. That's why I worked. Not because I'm the best guitar player or anything like that. That's certainly not fucking true. No.
But I think, for example, nowadays, it's, of course, there with YouTube and all the stuff like that, there are incredible musicians that can play extremely fast. But I think with this, it's got a little bit, it's not that important anymore. I think it's people.
Let me ask you something.
Excuse me?
How many people that play like that make a lot of fucking money?
I don't think that too much. It's about songwriting. It's about the song that moves people in the heart. You know, like
then you've answered the question.
I think it's not about the velocity of playing and how many BPM, but that the song moves yourself. I think best example is Africa. You know, it had this huge comeback, and people are going crazy when they're listening to it. All this new generations that. Maybe some people didn't knew the band Toto before.
You know, it's been good to us. It certainly made life easier for me in terms of worrying about money during the pandemic. You know? Yeah. But it went crazy, and we all just sit back and go, "What? Are you kidding me?" But thanks, we got 3 billion streams on. Yeah. Spotify, not just of that song, but of our whole catalog. Kids are finding out, they're showing up at the shows. I mean, they make fun of us. And I laugh at all that shit. We're Family Guy characters, South Park character. I mean, I can laugh at all this shit, man. Come on, I don't take myself that seriously. Yeah. We recorded that song in 1981, okay? With 4 24-track tape. I mean, we were just messing around. We made the whole record, and then Dave and Jeff came in with the lyrics. We're like, Africa, Dave? We're from North Hollywood. You know, but he says, no, it's a fantasy song, blah, blah, blah. And the director made the script for the videos. We hated doing videos. We're like, we don't want to be actors, we're musicians, you know? Yeah. But you had to do this, you had to do that. The rules were there, MTV, all that shit. We didn't have a choice in it. So we went like, okay, we'll wear these clothes if that's what you want me to look like. You want to make the mullets with the hair up to here. It's fucking hilarious shit. I mean, it's really funny to look back at it at my age, at 63, going, I actually thought that looked cool at some point. I went like, yeah, okay, let's cut. What? Geez, wow.
How do you explain to yourself that song like Africa was skyrocketing and became an internet phenomenon?
It doesn't make any sense. It's a freak of nature. You can't make shit like that happen. You can't. I don't know how. We didn't make it happen. It just did. Yeah. We just reaped the reward. You know, we reaped the rewards from that. So if anybody thinks that we're not laughing around, we're laughing all the way to the bank.
Yeah, but I think so. Toto is more famous than ever. You're everything. It's a whole new part of your legacy as a musician. So
who would have thought? But you know what? I always believed in this band. I always believed, but I didn't think we'd get the. I mean, not many bands have a big resurgence like this in their 60s. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we're laughing. Me, David, I talk to David Page every day almost, 6 a.m. in the morning, because that's when we wake up. But it's also when we used to go to bed. So my life has changed.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about your equipment, since we're also a music magazine and a guitar magazine. Sure. Which guitars did you play for your record?
Music Man, the new models. I have the little green guy there that has the new Music Man pickups in it. I use that for 90% of the record. Then I used my other L3 for a drop tuning or a E flat or something like that, you know. But that has the same pickups in it. It's the same exactly. It's exactly what you pull off the stand, you know, at the store, or you know, and you can make it to your own specs. I mean, you don't have to do it just like me, but it comes set up pretty much the way I play it, with a floating tailpiece, which I really love, and these cool, wonderful new sounding pickups. And they make the greatest guitars. I mean, I still got all my old vintage stuff, but I mean, I really love my Music Man guitars, so I played them. I basically used my live setup and said, let's record.
Did you also play the wet-dry setup, the wet-dry-wet setup, or is it just on stage?
It's just, I don't even do that on stage anymore. I use just just a stereo, and the only thing that's stereo is just a little ping pong delay, but it's very put in the loop. It's stuck back. I mean, I hardly use the stuff anymore. A couple of stop boxes for distortion. Jeff Coleman made me a great one. I got one from Uli Rodenberg. He made me a great one, great big box. A wah-wah pedal I got a couple of things. I got a Univibe, a Dunlop Univibe, a wah-wah, a volume pedal, a compressor that I never use. I don't know. It's I have a Leslie thing, a simulator, and I have what the hell is it, man? The Strymon stuff. It's the Strymon reverb stuff that I really love. It just gives it a nice floating cover around the back end of it. And then you have the real guitar sound here, punchy as fuck. And then if we did it on the record, we'd add something if I wanted to do an effect or something.
Yeah. Did you use your setup so for every song almost the same, or did you have you been tweaking then from song to song a little bit?
Not much. I did it all on the guitar.
Set and forget.
It was like doing it live, so I had to do it. And I looked at it in terms of all that as a live gig. You don't turn down your amp and change your amp settings for every song in a live scenario. Yeah. So for this, I use the same mentality.
Yeah. So talking about your collaboration with Music Man, what do you value in these guitars? What's the thing you really like about them?
Everything. Okay. I mean, it's a family-owned business. The president, the whole family owns the business, and they're very, very close family friends for 30 years, 35 years maybe. And when Eddie Van Halen was making his first guitar, I was up at Ed's house, and they were trying to figure out which pickups this one or that one to put in the guitar as the main guitar, and I was the tiebreaker. So I have the number 3 Eddie Music Man, which I cherish, the purple one, which I still have and use, and that's how that went. And then Sterling goes, "Look, I was at the time I was using Valley Arts guitars, and I had that robot guitar and all that stuff, which I still have. I have the only original one, the only one that really is real. The others are copied bootlegs or whatever. But I still have that guitar, which was." He said, "Let me have the neck. You love the neck? Let me see the neck. I'll put it on the computer, and I'll give it right back to you." I said, and then it turns out the guy that actually helped build the guitar over at Valley Arts became the head luthier at Music Man. So I didn't really move that much. We just changed. They came up with a different body style. We tried a few things, put EMG pickups in it, and it took off. And now I used the Larry DiMarzio pickups, and now who's great. And now I'm using Dudley Gimple, the guy who really was the brains behind all that. He just retired. Dudley's a genius, and he's also one of the nicest guys in the world. And he worked hard with the people over at Music Man and Sterling. And they presented me with this guitar, and I fell in love with it. And I've been using it ever since. Now look, I have other stuff, but if I needed it, I get it. But this guitar really gives me everything I can need.
Cool.
I don't need to change songs every guitar like I did when I had a collection just to show off my collection. And if something really needed a 335 or a real Les Paul or a Telly, I have them. I can go get them. And I have a couple of very small occasions, but most of the time, every time I get a guitar from Music Man, it becomes my new favorite guitar.
Cool.
So, go figure.
The main working horse.
They've been incredibly generous. They talk about the best customer service I've had for any aspect of my life, let alone guitars. And I love them dearly. They're family.
Okay, so Steve, thank you very much for taking your time. I hope we can invite you soon when all this is over back in Germany, and maybe we meet in person. And it was a pleasure talking to you.
Pleasure to you, Oliver. God bless you, man. Take it easy, buddy.
See you. Bye.
Bye-bye.